What is going on, everybody? My name is Dakota and welcome back to Cologne. Today we're going to be looking at a brand new release. It is going to be Viktor&Rolf's SpiceBomb Metallic Musk. Let's get into it. So as soon as I had heard the rumors that SpiceBomb was going to be coming out with kind of a fresh musk type of fragrance, I knew that it was going to be one that I would immediately want to have. I haven't really spoken about it much on the channel, but I am a lover of the SpiceBomb DNA. And I kind of liked how they did some of these SpiceBomb Eau Fresh from back in the day. It wasn't my favorite, but I like the concept of having like an incredibly spicy, but still moderately fresh kind of fragrance. And to me, I know they're not going to be the same, but I do feel like this was kind of a reimagined take on what a summer SpiceBomb fragrance could be. So in true fashion, we're going to start this thing off the way we always like to. We're going to be showing off the atomizer. And the atomizer is pretty decent. It doesn't have a real far burst, but it does have a really wide burst. And it has just enough pressure to where you don't really feel like you're wasting any. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and put a few there on their hand. We're going to get this drying down a little bit, and we're going to talk about what we get when it first gets in the air. So what you're immediately hit with when this fragrance first gets in the air is a heavy dose of black pepper. And you're also hit with a little bit of like a soapy citrus at the same time. So it's kind of a weird blend of when it comes together, but being the SpiceBomb's DNA comes kind of rooted off of those heavy pepper notes and stuff like that, I wouldn't really expect anything less. Even though it is kind of a peppery, heavy fragrance on the opening, it's still very clean. It's very nicely to where it's not overwhelming and it's not harsh. Some of the other spices that they've used in some of their other fragrances, specifically the original SpiceBomb, that one is incredibly harsh. This one is much smoother, so that is a really nice thing. On the opening of this fragrance starts out very good. But before we get too far, we're gonna tackle in the notes of this real quick. The top notes on this are gonna be aldehydes, bergamot, black pepper, and elemi. I don't really get a whole lot of elemi off the nose of this. The main thing I get is a lot of that like soapy, peppery kind of vibe, but it's blended up to where it's still going to smell really good on the nose. The middle notes on this are going to be clove and cinnamon, with the base notes drying down to pure musk and leather. And as far as the note breakdown, kind of what you see is kind of what you get. You're able to kind of really pick this thing apart a little bit. I do like the fact that SpiceBomb is going away from the tradition of just giving 3 or 4 notes. I like that they gave you kind of a full breakdown in it. I feel like with the note breakdown of this, I feel like kind of with the way the direction I want to go with this is they're wanting like a warm, spicy kind of summer fragrance. Now, it doesn't have the most fresh, I guess you could say, of it, but it comes across very clean. I think that's what I'm liking the most about it. Some of the musk that you immediately kind of get off of this, some of the soapiness that you get off of this mixed with some of the clove, some of the cinnamon, some of the pepper, the way that you're able to tell that what everything is independently, but also have, to me, a very complete fragrance. I really enjoy that because it's not every day that you're going to be able to find a warm, fresh kind of summer fragrance that also still has a lot of really spicy backbones that's still going to be able to dry down to where it's going to be a true, to me, what feels like all year round fragrance. As it sits now, I've been able to wear this 3 or 4 times. I pretty well wore it like 3 days in a row. The first day I wore this, I got a really big compliment factor. I was genuinely surprised. I didn't think this would be a fragrance that would receive compliments very well. I thought it would maybe just a touch too harsh on the nose as it dries down. But to my shock, I've got several compliments coming off this thing. This fragrance does get significantly a little, I guess you could say, softer as it dries down, but we're gonna talk about the deep dry down here in a little bit. What we're gonna get into now is gonna be the price performance and the availability. Availability wise, I don't know that this has had an official release yet. I was able to get a bottle because I ordered off of Scent Rush. This was either a damaged bottle or it was already an open box. I think sometimes they'll get in early orders of like factory blemishes potentially. I'm not really sure how they got theirs so fast. But yeah, this one, you can tell the label isn't quite perfect, but I'm fine with the label not being perfect. I'm fine with a lot of the stuff that went into this. Because I want to say availability wise, I don't think this is supposed to be a full launch, I think, until May. I could be completely wrong on that. If I am, somebody let me know in the comments. But I want to say May is when this is supposed to be like officially launched. As far as price wise, I picked mine up for $99. I think that Scent Rush's normal price is about $105. I did use a little bit of a discount code to get it down just a little. When this hits retail, I'm going to be expecting somewhere in that $99 to $115 range, if I had to guess, just kind of based on how everything is looking. Again, I hope I'm not wrong on that one, but if I am, what can you do? Now, as far as performance goes, that is something I can give hard facts to. The longevity on this fragrance is very good. I was getting 7-8 hours on this. I was genuinely surprised by that, given how some of that fresh soapiness goes. Given some of the properties that goes into this, usually those kind of fresh soapier fragrance don't do extremely well on my skin. But yeah, 7-8 hours worth of longevity. The sillage on this is very good. I was in about that 2-foot range, and the projection is good on this as well. It's around that 1 or 2 foot as well. So for the concentration of this fragrance is going to be one that is going to easily move off your skin. It's going to easily be able to move around in the air. So if you're at a job where you can move around a little bit, this is going to be absolutely perfect. And if you're in an office space, even though this is a spicier, kind of fresher fragrance, it's still going to be soft enough that you could very easily wear this to an office setting. Being in those office settings, obviously spray just a little bit sparingly. As I said on the opening of this, some of that black pepper can be a little harsh, but for the most part, as it dries, the fragrance softens up. And that's really where it gets good, is after about that 30 or 40 minute range. Because that's about 45 minutes to an hour, I feel like, is about how long this one took to get to that true dry down. But when this fragrance does dry all the way down, it gets really, really good. You get a lot of muskiness. You get to hold on to some of that warmth. Some of that pepper still being noted kind of falls a little bit to the back of the way. This thing gets a little more fresh. It gets a little more green. It starts to develop a little bit of a lightness almost. A lot of that aromatic things that you would look for in a spring summer fragrance really starts to shine the more it starts to dry down. And the thing that I was pleasantly surprised in is you do pick up some of the cinnamon. So through the mid into the dry down, the cinnamon gets a little bit stronger, but it's not like one of those harsh bitter cinnamons. This fragrance, being metallic musk, doesn't really have a lot of that like metallic kind of vibe to it. It does have a little bit of like the mineral feel, but it's not anything that's going to be sharp. It's not anything that's going to be edgy. I was genuinely surprised by that. I thought this fragrance was going to be one that was a little more harsh. It was a little more rough around the edges. This one to me does feel a little bit more refined compared to, we'll say, the original SpiceBomb Eau de Toilette. If I had to compare it to that one, I would say that this one does feel a little smoother. It does feel a little more complete. This one's not going to be near as kind of like stingy. But yeah, as a whole, I really don't have any complaints on this fragrance at all. I feel like this is going to be a pretty solid release. The only issue with the release, you might say, is the name. Metallic Musk is a name that I don't really think a whole lot of people is going to fall into. Some people don't really like musk fragrances. Some people don't like kind of the sharp mineral fragrances. This doesn't really have a whole lot of that sharpness. This, for being a kind of a muskier based fragrance. But the thing that surprised me the most was that the fact that they used the leather. So on the opening, I don't really get any of it. And when it does start to come in, it is very much a background note. It's not really anything that's going to be like dominant or heavy. It starts to show up after about that 30 or 40 minute range. And I feel like I like the way that they used it with just being subtle hints of it there. It's not anything that's loud or dominating. I guess 2025 is the year of leather. It seems like every fragrance that released this year has heavy doses of leather or has a form of leather somewhere in the fragrance. So I guess we're going back to leather-based fragrances these days. But in the wrap of the dry down, I think the thing I like the most is how fresh this kind of stays. It keeps a little bit of a soapiness. It keeps a lot of the original SpiceBomb DNA. And I think that's what I like the most about it, honestly, is I like being able to take a SpiceBomb DNA and wear it in the summer, wear it in the spring, wear it where it's fresh and almost going to be a little bit, not refreshing, but relaxing. Because this is not one that you would be like, oh, this is a refreshing fragrance. Like, this is not going to be in par with like a Dior Home Cologne or a Eros Energy. This is not one that's going to be like a refreshing kind. This one is going to be on the more relaxing side though, as long as you're into this kind of DNA. So if I had to give this fragrance a rating right now, honestly, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. The only thing I'm going to dock it for just a hair is I feel like some of the black pepper on the opening is, as much as I like it, I feel like an overall is going to be a little bit harsh. And the other thing I wish they would do just a little bit is I kind of wish this had a little bit of a floralness to it. I kind of wish they would have put some form of kind of like sweet floral in here. Not saying this fragrance is bad whatsoever, but I feel like that would just be the kind of little extra piece that would just kind of push it over the top. And if I had to give this a personal rating as far as how much I love the scent, I would still give it a 9. I genuinely enjoy this fragrance. This is going to be one that for me, this is going to fall in a spring fragrance. I feel like the release of this was almost timed perfectly. This is definitely going to be going in the spring rotation. I did get a few new fragrances over the past month or so. I'm going to have to, kind of tweak my spring rotation just a little bit. But yeah, this is definitely going to be one that's going to get rotated in and out probably frequently. I'm really enjoying this one. But I do think that is going to get us wrapped up. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and get it on this bottle one more time, kind of show it off a little bit. I still really like this. I still really like these little grenade pen collars. As far as the bottle quality goes, it seems like it's pretty good. It seems like it's got a little bit of weight to it. I kind of wish they would have done something a little bit different with this plastic cap though. I feel like with the other bottles, a lot of them being black, it kind of blended in a little bit better. For some reason, this one, it just really sticks out to me. It doesn't look bad. It just kind of looks a little odd. But that is going to be the wrap up. As always, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you everyone for subscribing, for sticking around, staying tuned, listening to me yap about how fragrances smell. I truly appreciate it. We're getting very close to 1,200 subs. We are going to be doing a build your own sampler for the next one. That's kind of what the popular opinion voted for, so that's what we're going with. But that's going to be all for today. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.